Okay, hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone joining us today, wherever you are in the world, whether you're joining us live right now. We've got a good amount of people joining us live right now, and then some of you may be listening to this right now via recording. So wherever in the world you are, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so happy you are here for the first ever online Courageous Self-Love Healing Circle. Yay! I have had this idea to do this for a really long time. Usually my healing circles are in person, and I wanted it to be available to more people because, a lot of people have work or they don't live in the Southern California area. And so I decided to do it this way, and it's really, really exciting. You're the first participants ever, and it's just a very exciting time. So yay! I'm just letting people in right now. Welcome, welcome to those of you just joining. Just so you know, we are currently recording and everyone is muted. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Amelia Fortes, and I am an intuitive self-love healer. And I have been running or hosting my Facebook community, this Courageous Self-Love Facebook community, for almost 3 years now. It'll be 3 years. Wow, I think in a few days. So it'll be 3 years very soon. And I have also been serving clients all over the world with coaching, healing, and spiritual services, officially for 3 years and unofficially for about 7 years now. So I'm really excited to have you here, to see some familiar names and some familiar faces. And I'm also looking forward to getting to know some new names and some new faces. And I'm really here with this circle. I created this because I wanted women like you to have a safe space to go deep, to heal, and to really create community and have a space where we can explore topics that are important to us, like money, sex, love, relationships, career, etc. And you're here probably because I'm sure at least one point in your life, you realize that the world out there isn't always so safe. It's not safe for you to be a woman sometimes, for you to have your feelings, have your opinions, feel things, have desires, be sexual, be powerful, be abundant, and just boldly declare awesome shit that you want. You might find out there that you, just by existing or by sharing your opinion, you're met with a lot of resistance and opposition. So I'm here. I wanted to create this space to say, fuck all that. You are safe here. You are welcome here with who you are, and all of your opinions and all of your feelings. All of that is welcome here. So thank you. Thank you for being here. You are a brave warrior in this self-love revolution. Now, the topic for tonight and for the next few circles is going to be self-love and money. And the question we will be exploring tonight and over the next few circles are, how can I create abundance in all areas of my life? All areas. And we came up with that topic because in the Facebook group, hold on, this is so weird. I have to click accept for everyone to join. So we came up with the topic of self-love and money within the Facebook group. And so if you're not already part of the Facebook group, I really encourage you to join. And I'm going to paste up in the chat here the link to join that Facebook group. And then I'm also going to share my screen so you can see what it looks like. So when you join this Facebook group, you can easily also just go to Facebook and search Courageous Self-Love Healing Circle, and this should pop up. And you should click on notifications and click on all posts so that you can see what everyone else is posting. And if you're able to see your screen, you'll see that there's a poll here, and the majority of people voted for money to be our topic. So that is how we came up with that topic. And if you, this Facebook group is a really great resource for you to interact with me, interact with each other, ask questions, share your stories, uplift each other. I also like to share my favorite self-love inspiration articles, videos, blog posts, and also you're welcome. A lot of other participants in the group share their favorite videos, blog posts, and things like that. So it's a great resource for you to connect with each other when we're not on these circles. And especially if you're listening to this on the recording, it's absolutely great for you to pop in there and connect with some of us that are on live here today. So my intention for you is by the end of this circle tonight is that you will leave having had a breakthrough, a new realization, or a deeper understanding about how you have unconsciously been blocking abundance in your life. And I will give you an opportunity also to take that work even deeper after tonight, if you so choose. So before we really dive into the topic of self-love and money, let's take a moment first to really define self-love for the purpose of this community, and also courageous self-love and what that means to us. So to kick us off, I'm actually going to read an excerpt from the Self-Love Activation Oracle Cards Guidebook. Now the Activation Oracle Cards is a 44-card oracle deck that I developed with the help of an amazing, talented designer who's actually live tonight. So hey, Mo. Mo is here live tonight, and we designed this together, and they're available now as well too. So if oracle cards are your thing, definitely hit me up and I can let you know how you can purchase a copy. But for us to define self-love and courageous self-love, I just wanted to read an excerpt from the first page of that guidebook, which is called Reflections on Self-Love. When I started my company years ago, almost no one was talking about self-love or self-care. People were mostly concerned with making more money, climbing the corporate ladder, and buying the latest gadgets and gizmos. But now more and more people are realizing that you can't achieve true happiness without having love and respect for yourself. And so in this healing circle, in our Facebook community, I like to say that I take pop culture self-love, that popular term that's just out there everywhere now, and I raise it a healthy, whopping dose of kick-ass courage. Now, I want to warn you, courageous self-love is not for everyone, okay? Courageous self-love is only for those who are willing to go deep and take a serious look at themselves for the purpose of true and long-lasting transformation. It requires a brutal honesty and bold, risk-taking action. Courageous self-love may not always feel good, but it always yields the best results. So kicking that off, take a moment right now to write in your journal or in your notebook or whatever you have, and write a couple of sentences about what courageous self-love means to you and why it's important to you. So just go ahead and take a minute and do that now. And if you're on your computer, I would love to see what you come up with if you want to type it into the chat. So just take a minute to do that now. And I've actually unmuted, so if anyone would like to share, you're unmuted, so go ahead and share, what does courageous self-love mean to you? Anyone?
Having the courage to love yourself out loud.
Having the courage to love yourself out loud. And who is that speaking?
Natasha Gidding.
Hey, Natasha. Oh my gosh. You're
here. Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, I met Natasha years ago in Texas when I was in the college speaking circuit. So having the courage to love yourself out loud. Tell me a little bit more about what that means, loving yourself out loud.
Out loud, just not being afraid to be who you are despite, who you're around or who you think may have an opinion about you or what you're doing,
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yes. And that is what this community, one of the main things this community is all about, to give you the tools to really love yourself, but not only like in your own home, but like out there in the world. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to put everyone back on mute. Don't worry, there'll be other opportunities for other people to share, especially as we dive deeper into the material. But thank you so much, Natasha. It's so good to hear your voice. Oh my gosh, it's been years. Okay, so now that you've defined what courageous self-love means to you, really review that as often as possible, especially when you're going through a really tough time. When you're going through that tough time and like feelings are just really shitty. Also, Mercury is in retrograde right now, so just be gentle with yourself. But those are the moments where it's time to love yourself fiercely. It's easy to love yourself fiercely when you're feeling good or when you're ovulating or when you're in love. But when you're really sad or really angry, those are the moments that courageous self-love will really pop in. And that's where the mastery will happen. So that's my invitation to you, to keep deepening that definition for yourself. So let's jump in now with the topic of self-love and money. And the question that we're exploring tonight and over the next few circles is, how can I create more abundance in my life? So write that question down, as that is what we will be pondering over the next few minutes and the next few weeks. How can I create more abundance in my life? So we will be focusing specifically on the theme of money and finances, but I invite you to expand that theme and see how it relates to abundance in all areas of your life. So I'm talking not just abundance of money and finances, but abundance in time, in energy, health, and vitality, in your relationships and connection, in passion, in creativity, in love. So really take this focused topic of money and finances, but see how you can expand it into the other areas of your life as well. And also with that, I invite you to use what my coach, Joanna, calls the law of adaptation. So with the law of adaptation, there'll be a lot of things that you will hear tonight, and just out there anywhere you go where you're learning something. And you might not relate to it exactly, or it might not be where you're at right now in your life, but I invite you to use the law of adaptation and take the gold from whatever it is for you. Adapt it so that it makes sense to you and your life, okay? And here's the deal, each one of you is starting in a different place in your life as it relates to abundance. But whatever we talk about tonight is going to meet you where you're at and help you to elevate that and take it to the next level wherever you're at. So before we kind of get to where we're going, it's very important and vital to determine where we're starting. So like, where are you at right now with abundance? Where are you at right now with money and finances? So I'm going to just kind of go through a list of possible places where you're at right now with abundance and money and finances. And as you listen to each one, you know, really think about your experience of abundance and money and where you're at. Okay, so you might, as it relates to abundance and money, you might be feeling like you're always hustling for that next dollar. You know, you're always wondering, you know, it's not that you have trouble finding ways to make money, but there's just this general experience of just like hustling for that next dollar. Maybe your experience is you find that no matter how much money you have, whether it's a lot or a little, for some reason you're always worried about it, or you find that you have consistent thoughts of there's not enough, or consistent thoughts of I need more. Whatever it is, I need more, but I don't know how to get it. So your general experience of abundance and money is worry and anxiety or hustling. Maybe you feel really confused about money, or you feel like, I don't know a lot about money. I know nothing about money. Money is a complicated subject. If you talk about it, I'm going to just immediately feel inadequate and feel like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even want to talk about it. And that feeling of confusion tends to create an experience of fear for you. So that fear tends to have you avoid even thinking about it or talking about it. Or maybe your experience of money and abundance is you do have enough and you feel abundant, but maybe the source of your income isn't something that you're passionate about. And your next level would be that you would really love to make money doing something that you're passionate about, that you really love. Or it would be really like, you know, whether it's your artwork or helping people in a certain way that really fills you up. Or maybe you do have the experience of enough and abundance, but sometimes you worry about not having money saved up for emergencies or like investment opportunities that come your way. Like there's not an extra or a surplus there for you. Or maybe even some luxury items that you've been really wanting to take advantage of, like that new pair of shoes or a really nice purse, or, you know, one day buying a house or another house, or a car or a new car, or that dream vacation that you're just like, if only I had a little bit extra, I would just fly to Bali. So maybe that's your experience of money and abundance. And whatever it is, you're probably noticing in your life that you're always having the same patterns and struggles about money. And you're seeing like, this is a common pattern for me. And you're not really sure yet how to break that pattern. Or here's the deal. Maybe you're really struggling and you feel like you're eyeballs deep in debt. You know, you feel like you're the only one who knows your situation, and it's just gotten really stressful and really heavy that you avoid looking at your bank account. You avoid, you know, every time you think about your bills, this like pressure, this heavy pressure just weighs on you. And no matter how much money comes in, at the end of the month, you find that you're always left with the same amount. So whether you related to any one of those or all of those, or something else, really take a moment to note where you're starting at. So write down, you know, this is where I'm at with money right now. This is my current experience of money and abundance. So go ahead and just take a minute to do that. And if you'd like, if you're able to, I invite you to share your experience in the chat of the Zoom. Okay, just finish up your sentence there. And, I invite you, if there's a lot of stuff coming up for you, take the time after tonight to journal some more and see where you're at as it relates to money. Because here's the thing, just like you have a thermostat in your house or in your apartment or in a hotel room, the thermostat has a reading of a temperature on it. And the purpose of the thermostat is to regulate the temperature of the room. So when it's summer and it's hot outside, you set the thermostat to 65 degrees, and that will make sure that the air is always on to make sure that the temperature in the room stays 65 degrees. Or when it's freezing outside and you set the thermostat to 70 degrees or 72 degrees, whatever works for you, that thermostat will make sure that the heat will kick on anytime that temperature drops below. So just like a room in a house has a thermostat, your money and abundance also has a thermostat. And so it's not necessarily your fault if you want to change your experience, but it just keeps staying the same. So the question is, what is your thermostat set to? And how can you get enough awareness on that thermostat so you can actually start to change it and increase your experience? So with that definition of a thermostat, your abundance thermostat, and knowing that your thermostat dictates the amount of abundance in your life, on a scale of 0 to 100, so 100 being abundance is flowing from all directions and oozing out your pores, and you're feeling it with relationships, with love, with peace of mind, with energy, with time, with money, with opportunities, with connection. That's 100. Okay, I'm not even at 100, but that's 100. And 0 is 0. So where are you on that thermostat? What is the temperature on that thermostat? So don't think about it too much. Just really take a gut check, considering all the areas in your life, and write down in your notebook the number of where your thermostat is. And I'm just going to unmute everybody, and just feel free to call out the number that you came up with.
75.
Okay.
65.
Okay.
90.
Okay.
50.
Okay. Anyone else? Perfect.
75.
75. Okay. Putting everyone back on mute now. That is wherever you're at is wherever you're at. And I didn't hear anybody say 100. So there's always more room to grow, right? So that is the goal of tonight. Like I said, is for you to have a breakthrough or a new realization or a deeper understanding of where you're at in terms of abundance, and get you as close to 100 as possible, or even raise your temperature even just a few degrees. And the beautiful thing that I heard here, is, and even if you didn't share and where you're at, wherever you're at, is, we're all doing pretty good, right? We're doing great. Even like the fact that you have the ability to be here on a call like this means shit's pretty good in your life. So if anything, you can hang on to that. And so I lost my place here. Okay. So now take a look at your current experience of money and your current abundance thermostat reading. And I want you to write down, why is it important for you to transform your experience around money and abundance? And whatever reason that you were not at 100, you can focus on that area of your life. Why is it important for you and the world for you to get to 100? And the next step of that question too that you can add on as you're writing is, what is it costing you to not up level in terms of your abundance? Like in terms of, your health, your well-being, your passion, your creativity. What is it costing you? Just take a minute to do that. Okay, wrap up your last thought there. And again, if there's more that wants to come out about that, I invite you to keep writing on that later. Journaling is a very, very, very healing and healthy thing to do. So here's the deal. Whether you like it or not, and whether you have a lot of it or don't, in our society, the topic of money and finances is a shit show. It just is. People avoid it, and it just creates a lot of tension and weirdness sometimes, because we as a society are seriously undereducated on the topic. Not only in the mechanics of how money works, like how does credit work, how do taxes work, how does compounded interest work, but we're also undereducated in the emotions of money. Money brings up so much inside of us that oftentimes it's easier to just avoid it sometimes. So I want you to know that if there's any weird or uncomfortable feelings coming up for you as we dive deeper into this topic, that's totally normal. And it's completely normal to feel anger or resentment or frustration or hopelessness or like tension in your body or anxiety, or even deep sadness as we talk about money and abundance. And also it's totally normal to have these feelings of desire and turn on and joy and peace can also come from thinking about money. So it's all welcome here, wherever you're at. And I invite you to not shy away from those feelings. I invite you to really lean into those feelings, because that's where the breakthrough is. And it's when you lean in and you get curious about your experience that you keep discovering more. And it's there that you find the gold, where you will truly be able to start to turn your situation around. So as we continue to go deeper, I want you to focus on, the area where, the area that was the reason why you were not 100 on the thermostat, whether it's relationships, creativity, passion, money itself. I want you to lean in over there. Lean into where there might be more of the not so yummy feelings, just so that we can really discover more and you can maximize what you're getting tonight. And also, if you're here, you're definitely someone who has already done a lot of deep inner work. I mean, you wouldn't be here. Like, people don't join Zoom calls about courageous self-love and money and abundance if you haven't already been working on yourself. So you're smart, you're successful, you're intelligent. That's the reason you're here. It might not always feel that way, but on some level, you know that about yourself. You know you're brave. You know you're powerful. And so a lot of what we're discussing, we probably have already talked about it, or what we're about to talk about. It might not be new to you, but I really invite you to approach everything we do here with a beginner's mindset. So if you're hearing something that you've already heard before, or if you've already processed it before, like I've already processed that, I invite you to see this as an opportunity to take your current understanding even deeper. And like I said, I invite you to lean into the area of your life that was the reason you were not at 100. Okay, that's where the most opportunity is for you to really go deep. Because my intention for you is to, if you haven't already, is to have a breakthrough, a new realization, or a deeper understanding about all the ways you unconsciously have been blocking abundance in your life. So take 2 minutes or so right now and answer this question. And I'm going to say money, but if the area for you is relationships or connection or creativity or something else, I invite you, you can look at that topic instead, okay? So how was money talked about or treated when I was growing up? So you can write that question down and take a moment to answer that. How was money talked about or treated when I was growing up? I'll even time it. I'll give you a minute to do that. Oh, someone asked me to repeat the question. How was money talked about or treated when I was growing up? So that can be, like, how did you experience your parents talking about it, your caregivers, the grown-ups around you, but also even your peers, like when you were in school or your friends at home. How was money talked about or treated when I was growing up? And you can take 30 seconds to, actually, I'll give you a little bit more time. I have a sense that more is coming through for you, so. I'll give you another minute. And even as you're writing, I'll add this other question in to take it even deeper. How have these experiences affected or shaped your current financial situation or your current abundance situation? And I'll just repeat that. How have these experiences affected or shaped your current financial situation? Take another 20 seconds or so to finish up your thought. And then the next question is, do I agree with these sentiments, or do I want to make my own choice about my beliefs around money and abundance? And that can be a simple yes or no to answer that. And the next question to journal on, what feelings or emotions come up when I think about money and abundance? What feelings or emotions come up when I think about money and abundance? And as you think about those feelings and emotions, answer the question, are these the feelings I want to have? And if not, what feelings do I want to have around money and abundance? So I want to hear from at least one or two of you, or maybe three of you even, depending. We'll see with time. But I want to hear from some of you what is coming through. So I'm just going to unmute. Who would like to share what's coming through for them?
Are we going to answer all the questions, or you want us to pick just one?
Choose whatever feels, present for you in this moment that wants to be witnessed and shared.
I kind of missed the do I agree question, but for that, my answer was no, and that's because as I've gotten older and, we came to learn about money, the fear that I did grow up with changed to now that I have the information and the knowledge that I need, or as I continue to gain it, I feel contentment. I feel happiness because I know that what I need to do in order to continue to make sure that I have an abundance.
Great. And what area, thank you for sharing that. What area was it that had you not be 100?
Oh, the area. I feel for me, and I'm just going to make it quick. August 18th, I was in a plane crash, and just trying to recover from that, and just trying to recover from that, and it's a lot that is coming up of things that I haven't dealt with in relationships, and just where I want to be in my life. Period. I'm not there yet, but I will get there.
So in relationships, is that like romantic relationships, friendships, where?
All across the board.
Okay. So there's some healing to do there around abundance relationships. Yes. So I would invite you. Thank you so much for sharing really vulnerably. And hi, baby. That's also there. I invite you to take those questions about like what have I been taught growing up, and apply that to relationships. Since that's okay, Julissa. I love hearing the babies. And kind of explore there a little bit. I invite you to lean into the area where that has you not at 100, and see what's there around your belief system and around how you've been taught and the experience that you're having. And at the end of tonight, I'm going to guide all of you through a healing therapeutic imagery. So I invite, and this is not just for you, but for everyone listening, when we do that, I'm going to be talking about money because that's the topic. But whatever it is for you, if you're good with money right now, if you're at 100 with money on the thermostat, then then do, because this is for your healing, right? To get you to 100 in all areas of your life. So do that for wherever you're not at 100, so that we can raise our vibration.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's take one more. Would anyone else like to share what's coming up or coming through for them?
Sure. Amelia, I'll share. This is Sumi.
Hi, Sumi.
How are you?
Good. Where in the world are you joining us from?
I'm in New York right now.
Oh, you're in New York.
Until next week. Yeah. Until next week. I'm going to Asia next week.
Okay. Beautiful.
So I'm answering the question. I focus in money just because it's really hard for me to focus in all the things at the same time. So focusing in money, answering the question about my family and how did I grow up and how that impacts how I feel about it now. Growing up, probably a lot of people could relate to this. The money in my family was all about scarcity. And the scarcity part is not only, I mean, we happen to be poor, but you could really grow up in a wealthy family and have people talking about scarcity all the time. So it's not so much about the amount of money, but it's a mentality of like, we need to get more, right? It was never enough, and it was always holding up for, when is the next paycheck gonna come?
Yeah.
And that impacted my entire life. I mean, we met working, in finance. I made a pretty good living after I graduated, but I still had this scarcity mentality for a very long time. I dealt with being addicted to shopping. I never had money. I was always struggling. Although I made pretty good money, I was always struggling with money. And it wasn't until recently, over the last couple of years that I've kind of transformed my life, and that I realized, that it's all about mental state. And one last thing before I mention this, before I leave, is the fact that I quit my job. When was that? In September, which is about 5 months ago. And in this 5 months, I have never felt so wealthy as I did when I was getting all that paycheck. So just to drive the point that it's really just, it has to do with emotional, and it takes a lot of work to get there. But
yeah, that's so beautiful. I'm so glad that you brought this up. There were like a couple of points that are really important for myself to hear and for everyone else. Is it doesn't usually matter how much money you have, because you can have a lot of money, but if scarcity is that main core foundational experience of it, so for everyone, Sumin and I met working on Wall Street, and so we were like in college making crazy money for college students. But yeah, depending on where our thermostat was, our experience would have changed. So what are, like, if you could say, like, what's like the one thing, or maybe if it's two things that really supported you? Like you said, you quit your job. And so I'm sure a lot of people live now, or even listening on the recording, are like, how do you feel wealthy when you quit your job? So could you pull out like one thing? And you did mention it's a lot of work to get to that emotional state, but what's one or two things that you could advise us, will really give us that high thermostat regardless of our situation?
I think number one is, and this is more practical, is in giving. So I really do believe, like I'm sure you probably speak to that a lot, that whatever you want more, you give a lot. So I have started to give a lot of money, which is funny because now that I don't have a regular paycheck, I'm giving money away. But seriously, that has helped a lot, because when you give, number one, you don't tell anybody that you give, and then number two, you don't have any expectations, and you feel that whatever you're giving, what that money is going to do for someone, and feel that as if you would be the one receiving that money. That has helped me so much. And the more I give, it's the weirdest thing, like money keeps like somehow coming back to me. And then the number two part, and this is just general, is just just general spirituality, right? Like just having a sense of trust in the universe that everything is gonna work out. so that everything that you have in the world is just abundance. There's nothing to worry about. And the less you worry, the less, you know, trouble comes, really, because you're being protected.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's so great. I mean, those are such simple things, right? And like you said, it's a lot of work. It's not just like, oh, yay, I'm going to like be abundant. You know, it's like, I can hear it in your voice too. Like you've practiced this. So it's not just like, oh, yay, I'm going to read a couple of memes or whatever. And tell me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of what I'm gathering.
Totally. Yeah. It's a daily practice.
Yeah. For sure. And as you were talking, and this is of course for everyone, like I just felt like, yeah, when you're like this about money, and for those of you that aren't seeing the video, I'm like tightening up my body and I'm closing my fists, you know, even if you have a lot of it, if you're having this experience of it, it doesn't matter how much you have or how much you don't have. It's your experience is going to be scarcity, like Sumian said. And but if you're just like, you know, when you're talking about giving it, you know, I just had this like outpouring feeling like from my heart, and this like loosening up in my body around it. And so, and I feel like it's not just like, you know, you talked about money, but it's not just with money. So I know someone else earlier, we talked about relationships, and we also talked about passion and creativity. And it's like, if whatever it is that you're experiencing scarcity, if you're holding on tightly to it and having tension in your body about it, then yeah, you're not opening yourself up even to the experience of it, let alone everyone else who can benefit. So thank you so much for sharing that wisdom. Okay, I'm going to put everyone back on mute, and we have a few minutes left, so I'm very excited. I just want you to do, with a few minutes left, to really just do a check-in with yourself based on everything we've talked about tonight and everything you've heard from other people. You know, where are you at right now? And write down the one or two things that you're really taking from tonight, whether it's something you heard someone else say, or something that I said, or one of the journaling questions that helped you realize something new or a deeper understanding. Just write down, you know, what are the one or two things that you're pulling out of this experience tonight. And I'll give you 30 seconds to do that. Another way to think of this question is, what's really important for you right now in this moment in order for you to up-level your abundance thermostat? And the next question I want you to answer for yourself is taking a look at your beliefs around abundance in the area that had you not at 100. And in looking at what you were taught about this area of your life, or in looking at what you learned just from being in the world in this area of your life. What are you seeing has been blocking you? So write that down. What are you seeing has been blocking you from abundance in that area? Well, let me just pause there so you can take a few seconds to do that. What are you seeing has been blocking you from being at 100 in this area of your life? And what is your intuition telling you is the right next step for you to take in order to take this area of your life to the next level. So I'll repeat both questions. In taking a look at all of these things around what you were taught growing up about this area of your life that is not currently at 100 in abundance, what are you seeing has been blocking you from being at 100? And what is your intuition telling you right now is an important next step for you to take to be at 100? And as you're ready to share, I'll unmute. I would like to hear from, one or two people. What was that next step that is right for you?
So, this is Julissa.
Hi, Julissa. Oh, so good to hear your voice. By the way, everyone, Julissa has an amazing singing voice. Sorry to call you out. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, go ahead.
It's okay. So one of the things that I feel has blocked me is just kind of remaining at a cusp. I mean, like, it's like the cusp between being a child, not a child, but like when you have to grow up, like I feel like there's a lot of me that still has thoughts or like just stuff that has been engraved, with growing up in a household where the bills were never paid in full, sort of. It's just it kind of has bled into my into my life now. Not that I just kind of pay everything in full, even if I stay without a cent. That's kind of like, it kind of went the other way around for me. But then the thing is that I end up having all these extra expenses even when I don't have them. And I feel like that's like that broke mentality where you're just like, I have it, so I'm gonna spend it, and I think that finding a way to just understand that, if I want to reach my goals, or if I want to get somewhere, I need to really let go of parts of me that that weren't all rational, or were just coming from a situation that was difficult growing up. My situation isn't difficult anymore, and I need to, I don't know, I feel like I need to find that little bridge over to the side of, well, now I have to do things differently. And not let those things continue to bleed into my future, because I'm not going to be able to do anything bigger. I'm going to stay where I'm at, and I want to grow.
Absolutely. And I think, a great next, like, the beautiful thing is now you're asking these questions. And I think that's always the best first step, is to have an awareness and start like looking at these things and asking questions. Because when you ask questions, it kind of opens up the door for the answers to come in. That's why I said, the question that we're focusing on is, how can I create abundance in all areas of my life? It's like asking that question even like opens you up to possibilities. Like, for example, it's not like, oh, I can't afford it, or, oh, I can't afford to do that, versus asking the question, how can I afford to do that? That's like, it automatically opens you up to a possibility. And that's not directly related to what you shared, Julissa, but I'm just saying, like, in general, so the fact that you're asking questions and looking into this is a really, really great start. So thank you for sharing that. And I invite everyone to continue journaling on these questions. What was I taught growing up? How is this affecting me? now? What is this costing me? You know, we're almost at the end of the hour, but I definitely want to do like a therapeutic imagery experience for you all. So I'm hoping everyone can hang on at least like another 15, 20 minutes. So object if you can, or if you have to pop off, you can catch the last 15 minutes on the recording. But I definitely want to do that for you all. And I also want to hear from one more person. Anyone else want to share something that's coming up around what you're noticing has been blocking you and what your right next step is to take it to the next level? Anyone else? Going once, going twice. It's okay if you don't want.
Hi, this is Agatha.
Oh, hey, Agatha. Right there in the
Hey,
yeah.
I know. And you know, all this time I've just been like, I think because I'm seeing this in a different perspective now. And I guess it's because I'm putting so much mind to it. And I'm actually very disappointed in myself. But I too, like many of the other ladies, in my family, we didn't grow up talking about money. Like I didn't know, you know, my family didn't talk about money. They didn't talk about credit. They didn't talk about how hard it is to work for money, what you should do with money. You know, my family's not about entrepreneurship. Like, so, you know, being an entrepreneur wasn't familiar to me. So all I know is that money, you got money and you bought what you had to buy. Give it to whoever you had to give it. It's a done deal. It wasn't so much, there was no boundaries with money. And I can see now a lot of my habits are just as that. I have no boundaries with money. I will give it if I have to give it. It can be my last and I'll still give it. I won't think about it. But just in that same aspect of giving, I don't save either. And I've been very, I've struggled for a while with money, and it became a norm that's what I do. I live paycheck to paycheck, and that's the norm. That's what we do. It's now recently that I'm like learning what money is and how to treat it so that it can then be fruitful for me. So a lot has come up with all these questions, and I think my next step right now is to evaluate where I actually go with money and how do I feel when it's going. Yeah. And kind of see where I can make some adjustments or just to better understand it. Because I think that's the whole thing. It's not even so much the love of money. It's just not really knowing what money does. Like, I just know that I go to work and I still work in corporate America. So it's not like I don't make well, but I always find myself still struggling for money. So I don't know. My feelings are mixed when it comes to money. And I think that's hindering me from actually feeling okay in that area.
Absolutely. And that's a common thing that I find, like with myself included and a lot of people, is just there's opposing feelings and beliefs around it. You know what I mean? And so it's important to like keep uncovering these types of things. So definitely keep leaning into these questions and asking yourself, you know, what is my intuition telling me is the next right step? And I really, I want to invite you all to keep this conversation going, like in the Facebook group, in the chat, and definitely, like, as you know, or I hope you all know, this Healing Circle series will be continuing every week for at least 3 months. I'm committing to 3 months, but like, I want to see how it goes, how people are enjoying it, how people are resonating with it. So we will definitely, like, we just started to scratch the surface tonight, and we will absolutely continue to take it deeper over the next few weeks. And if you want to have like a one-on-one conversation with me about it, I am absolutely open to that as well. And here's the thing, you know, not everyone shared tonight, and that's fine, because some people, I'm one of those people where I need to share to process it. And that's why I have the opportunity to share. Some people need to like process it up here. And so they'll probably have realizations in like 2 or 3 days, or some of you will just need to write a little bit more and then get to a place where you start to see some patterns. So everyone is just really different, and that's why I wanted to create this container so we can keep these conversations going on Facebook and also live here in these circles. So thank you so much to everyone who's shared so far, and for those of you who are mulling in your mind and processing right now, just keep leaning into all of this and keep letting it percolate. And as questions come up, I'm available to talk to, and we're in the Facebook group. Let's keep sharing. Okay. So thank you so much for that. All right. So I want to just lean into kind of this experience now to help you take it to the next level. And it's going to be sort of like it's going to feel like guided meditation, but what it is therapeutic imagery. So some of you might know this, some of you might not. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and therapeutic imagery is a modality where we, for a few minutes, access our subconscious mind. And I don't have time to go into all the mechanics of it, but a lot of you know your subconscious mind is like 80 to 90% of the driving factor in your life. And your conscious mind is just, 10 to 12% of that. So while your conscious mind is like, I want to make more money, or I want to have a better relationship with money, or I want more creativity, that's just the tip of the iceberg. You have the entire rest of the iceberg beneath the surface that have these beliefs from when you were growing up. Those beliefs of scarcity, or those beliefs of, we're not paying all the bills right away, or we're always hustling and working hard for that next check. So therapeutic imagery is a very calm way to just kind of get straight to the subconscious mind and create and start to like reprogram it. And for don't worry, the only thing that's going to be reprogrammed in your subconscious mind is what you want. Okay. And so my gift is in taking everything that I've heard and also just connecting with my intuition and delivering to you what's important to you. And the thing about therapeutic imagery is you will get to create the images for yourself and trust that whatever comes up for you in this experience is perfect for you, for your mind and how your mind works. Okay, so really just take a moment to get settled, put your notebook aside, put your pen aside, and then sit up. You don't want to lie down because that's too much like sleeping. So sit up and just get settled into your seat. I'm going to keep my eyes open, but I invite you to, take some breaths, focus on your breath. My voice is going to start to slow down. And as you settle into your seat and focus on your breath, just allow your eyes to gently float closed when it feels right. And with your eyes closed, just allow that to signal your body and your mind to go within. And allow a sense of calm, peacefulness surround. And as this sense of calm, peacefulness surrounds, just really imagine and allow images of abundance to come up and flow through you. So that could look however it looks. You could maybe see images, see colors, or just experience feelings or hear sounds. Whatever senses are lit up, just allow that to be what it is. It's perfect and right for you. And just allow that experience of abundance to just come to you and wash over you. And as this experience of abundance just comes to you and washes over you, really feel the body relaxing and opening up to it. And noticing where there might be any tension in the body, just relax that part and allow abundance to flow there too. And as the abundance continues to flow, really keep allowing your body to relax and open up to it. And maybe this experience really warms your heart or just creates such a happy feeling or a feeling of satisfaction and success. Maybe you even allow a smile to appear on your face. Maybe a big smile or a laugh. And if it helps, you can even have your arms in an open position, palms facing up, whatever it means to you to create this experience of openness, allowing the abundance to flow and flow and flow. And don't forget about your back. Allow the abundance to flow in all directions, the top, the bottom, the back, the sides. Just really give yourself the permission to experience all of that. And then with a deep cleansing breath in and a sigh out, allowing all the good, the positive, and the true of this experience really root deep in your subconscious. And as you start to come back up and out, starting at 1, taking another deep cleansing breath in, 2, feeling the seat beneath you, 3 is remembering the room you're placed in, 4 is a little bit more alert and awake, and 5 is eyes open wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open wide awake. And welcome back. I see a question in the chat. If I could share the questions after the call that we talked about today, you will be getting the recording of the call. And I will, that's actually a good idea. I will share the questions as well as some of the resources, like the link to the Facebook group. I'll share a link to purchase the Oracle cards if that's something you are interested in. And I'll also share a link to schedule some time with me just to really process what we've gone through today. And again, there's no pressure there, but this is the work that I do with people. I help people to activate things in their lives that are not currently activated and take them to the next level. And so just know that when you schedule a call with me, it will be purely for your benefit and for your breakthrough. And it also is with the intention to see if there's, you know, some work that you want to do with me, whether it's healing sessions or coaching sessions, but whatever it is, that's what we'll do. So I'll share those links as well as the questions via email after this call and the recording. But don't leave yet. I have unmuted everyone. I really, to kind of seal it all in, I want to hear, you know, one word, one phrase, or one sentence from everyone who's open to sharing. But for as many of you, what are you leaving here with tonight? And share your name first too, so that we can start to learn each other's voices. Anyone can start.
So this is Suming, and I will be leaving with the fact that deprogramming your mind takes a lot of work, and you have to work on it every day. And I will be doing, as I just said in the chat, this visualization every single day.
Amazing.
Thank you for
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyone else? What are you leaving here with today?
This is Julissa.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Sorry, you didn't hear me. Yes, hello. What are you leaving here?
I'm leaving with the understanding that anything and everything that I put my mind to is at my fingertips. And I just need to open myself to that. And I need to let in the good and let out the not so good that, may be holding me back from manifesting these things for myself.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anyone else? What I'm leaving here today with is?
Hi, it's me, Kat.
Hey, Kat.
Hi. I'm leaving today with just really thinking about how money was treated growing up, and I didn't realize how linked that was to how I beliefs I was still holding on to. Of course, my parents meant well, but I'm realizing that I've been holding on to their belief too that there's never enough money, or that I have to keep saving, and yeah. So I'm just thinking about that.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up. That feels really big for you and for all of us. I mean, what we were taught when we were young definitely sprinkles into everywhere in our life. So thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? What I'm leaving here with today?
This is Natasha, and what I'm leaving here with today is, I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but they said something about, the corporate world. They did that and left it alone. And what it helped me to realize is that that's not, the only thing, that there's other things that I desire and other things that I want to develop as far as a company, and being able to work within my passion and use that to give back as well.
Yeah.
And so that really hit home for me when I heard that. So thank you for sharing. I don't remember who it was. And then just thank you for the courageous self-love as well.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for being here. Everyone contributed such great energy. Thank you so much. Anybody else? What I'm leaving here with tonight is? I think we still have a few more people, but Agatha, did you want to share anything? I think that's you that's still here. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. First Courageous Self-Love Healing Circle. There are many more to come. Every week, as you saw when you signed in, it's password protected, and you get a specific unique link for you. So to attend future ones, you have to register. And actually, when you click the link to register, you can register for all of them if you wanted to. I set it up so that you can register for multiple at the same time. The other invitation is, if you know anyone who can benefit from something like this, definitely invite them. I'd love to see this circle grow as we continue to connect each week and get to know each other better and really witness each other growing in abundance. The other invitation is, get on that Facebook group, make sure the notifications are on so that we can really start interacting. I think what I'll do is I'll create a post in the Facebook group that's specifically related to tonight, with the questions and everything, and we can use that post to have a thread going with a conversation. Let's try that out and see if that works. And again, I'm open to all of your ideas. If you're desiring more interaction and something that I'm doing is not working, or you think something can be done a little bit better, definitely let me know. And again, the third invitation is if you want to take this deeper and spend like an hour with me on the phone, I'm happy to support you in taking that even deeper. And the intention of that will be, whether we work together or not with like coaching sessions, I have so many like recorded meditations and blog posts. So depending on where you're at, let's talk on the phone and I will give you whatever resource that I have for you. I've been in the financial space, like Sumin said, we met on Wall Street when we were just little teens. And so I've been in the financial space for a long time. So there's like books that I can tell you to read, articles, things like that. So those are the 3 invitations. Thank you so much. I really hope to see you all each week and alive and active in the Facebook group. I wanted to say some of my favorite moments from tonight was just really hearing how different each of your stories were, but also how related they all were. And I'm so glad to hear that so much breakthrough has happened. So I hope I delivered on my promise for you to have a new breakthrough, realization, or deeper understanding of how you unconsciously block abundance, and also that you have some next steps to take it forward. So good night. I will unmute again in case anyone wants to say goodbye or like one last final word, but everyone's on unmute. And I will see you next week. Anyone want to say goodbye?
Thank you, Amelia.
Bye.
Bye.
Night. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye.